Go.
Hi everybody, happy Thursday. The sun has come back out today. We have no more rain here. It absolutely poured down yesterday. It was horrible. But it's almost like a spring day again here today. It's gorgeous. It's a really, really nice day, which is lovely. Hope it's cleared up a little bit by you as well. Feeling a bit rough today. Don't know why. Not feeling very great. So you're going to have to bear with me. Just a bit under weather, I think. I think I need to sleep. Need to sleep a little bit more, but never mind. We're going to be doing a bit of sewing in a moment, which I will go through with you in a second. We're going to make a non-slip sewing machine pedal mat. Been practicing that, can you tell? But just a couple of little things first of all. The 24-hour daily deal that I did yesterday, the 10 fat quarters for £20, that will come off the website when I come off air now and get back over the shop. So you've got probably about an hour, and lots of you have taken us up on it, which is fantastic. Thank you very much. If you do want to do it and you haven't had a chance yet, give us a shout. Okay, you've got until I get back over the shop. Just realised my little iron's not plugged in. I'll do that in a second. What else was I going to say to you? So Moda block of the day for you, those ladies who are doing that with us, whether you bought the kit or whether you've paid to join the group. Everybody so far now should be in the group. I can see everybody in there, so hopefully you've all found it and you're all in, which is good. The pattern hasn't been released yet because Canada is still sleeping. So Moda's based in Canada, on the Canada-America border. It's based there. So obviously we had lots of ladies go, I can't find it, I can't find it. It's because it was still the middle of their night, I think. So if it's not been released or you haven't had it in your email by about 3 o'clock today, I think generally the UK is going to be like a day behind. So you should hopefully get block 1 by mid-afternoon, because I presume they're going to release it like in the morning, but their time, which over here would be like 2 o'clock or something. I will also, I think I've worked out how to put a PDF onto that group. So I will put that block on for you later on this afternoon, just in case it doesn't come through. But you should be able to download it from, if you Google Moda cutting table blog, that's where they're releasing the patterns every day. But like I said, I think it's going to be later in the day for us because they're in Canada and they're still a kipping. Well, we're up in, having our breakfast. It's middle of the night for them. So I think it's just going to be a bit later each day. But we'll keep an eye on it, definitely. I've got all the blocks. Okay, I have all the blocks. I was given those by Moda because we're a supplier and we were supplying the kits and blah, blah, blah. So I can, if for any reason we can't get it, I can put a PDF onto the group for you, okay? Well, as long as I can work it out. So we've got Alex filming today because Drew's in work. So Al, who's there? Who's coming online?
We got Wendy, Sheila, Grace,
Hi,
Sandra,
everyone.
Claire, Natalie, Kerry.
Oh, lots and lots.
Yeah,
Lovely, lovely.
a lot of
Hi,
people in
everybody.
today.
Lots of people in today. The fab. So just before we get started, I've got a mega bargain for you. Okay. I've shown you them before. We had some quilt kits in from Moda. They're quite expensive. I know they are, but you get everything in them. You get so much fabric and full instructions and all sorts and everything. We've got some new ones coming in at the end of October, and I've got 4 left of this one. That's it. You won't be able to get this again either. It's one of those once it's gone type things. I've got 4 left. They were £209.99. I've put the last 4 on the website down to £150. Okay. And again, like I said, I've got 4 only. I know they're still quite an expensive kit, but oh my God, it's so yummy. If you lot don't buy them, I'm having one of these. So it's the My Redwood Garden one. I think we had 8 of them in originally. So no, we didn't. We only had 4 of these. We had 4 of these. We had 8 kits originally go. It was £209. It's now £150, okay, which is a £59 saving. I'm going to open it up for you so you can see exactly what you get, okay. Linda's been lusting after this one as well. So you get a full, can I get into, oh I can get into this. You get a full colour pattern in here. Oh, I don't want to take it out. I don't want to ruin it. You can see it's a huge, huge pattern. Huge pattern. You've got loads. Can you get in there, Al? You've got loads and loads of instructions in there, and it's all like fully with photos and everything. Okay, you've got redwork silks in there. Okay, got what, 3, 4 in there. You've got little pre-cut hexes for some of the paper piecing that goes on there. You've then got all of this fabric. Okay, and it's all from it's Bunny Hill Designs, My Redwood Garden. Let me see, which is the easiest corner for us to get this on? Okay, that one there, you can see. I don't want to open it up because obviously this one's Sara, but you've got metre after metre after metre after metre of fabric in here, and all those beautiful colours. And then you've got, these are all half metres this side. You've got all those there. You've got your blenders, your white on whites. You've got your little bees. Got, oh, I like that one. You've got some polka dot in there, lots and lots and lots. So I've got 4, that's it. They are going on at £150, and once they're gone, they're gone. So they're on the website, it's live now. If you like red work, I mean, I love red work, I really do. I really enjoy it. It's a real quiet, peaceful thing for me. You know, when everything's getting a bit crazy, it really calms me because it's such a simple stitch. But it's a nice, gentle thing to do. But I love this one because it's got so much in it. You've got applique, you've got English paper piecing, you've got red work, you've got pieced blocks, you've got a bit of everything. So that's my bargain of the day. You need to clear them. They are now, you're saving £59, they're 150 quid. Still a lot of money, I know that, but you are getting a humongous amount of fabric. And the quilt ends up 68 by 77. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there. So 4 left on the website. The discount is already gone on. So if you fancy it, grab one quickly, because then I can show you the new ones when they come in at the end of October. Oh, you having a funny 5 minutes? I've gone all.
I don't know why it's done that.
I've gone all wonky. All right, no, has it turned itself off?
Maybe.
Hang on, ladies. We're just gonna. There we go. I'm back.
Yep.
I went on the wonk. I feel a bit on the wonk today, to be honest. I do. I've got a bit of a headache. The boys have all had colds, like really proper snotty colds. And I think I might have one. And with my dodgy nose, it gets really sinusy. I'm feeling a bit delicate today. So who's there? Anybody saying hello before we get started?
Carolyn said Sarah did the block in yesterday's 1 o'clock.
Don't know what that was, lovely. The block that I did yesterday. What did I do yesterday? I can't remember now. What did I do yesterday? Oh, the half. Oh,
yeah, I think
we might. Right, okay. Think we might have to. Al might have to hold the phone today. Sorry, ladies. There we go. This quilt. Maybe it's like this quilt. This is the block that I did yesterday. This is the Hot Flush HRT quilt, half rectangle triangle quilt. Okay. The pattern is online, and the little tutorial for it is on yesterday's live. Maybe it's a comment for Carolyn. Sounds like she's answering somebody from further up.
Sandra said, well, this might be it. One question. There are different size blocks we can choose. What size have you cut the fabric for?
Sorry, lovely. Is that a question to me, or is that a reply to somebody else?
That was a question from a while ago.
Okay, could you say it again, lovely?
There are different size blocks we can choose. What size have you cut the fabric for?
What, for the block of the day? No, lovely. They're all the same block. They're all 12 inches. If you've had an email through this morning, check that it says block 1 and it doesn't say block 3, block heads.
Motor blocks, she just said.
Yeah, no, Sandra, I'll give you a call afterwards, okay, lovely? The email that you've had, several ladies have had it. That's the previous stitch along. The block 1 from the October block of the day hasn't been released yet. If you have a look, I think it'll say block heads and it'll say block 33. That is the one that's finished in September. That's one that they've been doing all the way through the year and finished in September. The block 1 they're all 12.5 inch, 12 inch finished blocks. Okay, So I'll call you afterwards, Sandra, okay, and go through it with you. But yeah, if you've had an email, because I know a lot of the other ladies have had emails, the blockheads one you could do in different sizes, but the stitch pink block of the day, which is what we're doing for the breast cancer care thing, it's stitch pink. It'd be say block 1 on it. Okay, you've probably had the previous one because of the time difference. All right, so if you're still worried, I'll call you later. Right, on to any other questions before we get sewing? Anything else going on there?
Don't think so.
No.
Couple hellos.
Hi.
Things like that.
Okay, cool. Right, so we're going to make one of these little non-slip mats. Okay, it's designed for your sewing machine pedal to go on so that it can't move. It doesn't matter what pressure you put on it. You know, I can really push on that and it doesn't move. Okay, so you don't have to chase, because if you're anything like me, it does this around the floor and I'm constantly like, where is it? So little sewing machine mat pedal that goes like that, and it means it doesn't move. Okay, I had a look at a lot of different patterns. A lot of them just use one layer of this and bound it. Didn't like that. So I've kind of come up with my own little version of it. All right, but they really don't move. It's brilliant. I like it. I like it a lot. So let's get this one out of the way. I've done the sizing, so I'm going to put this. I've written it up as a pattern. I'll put it onto our website for £2, same as all the other little ones. If you've got a different size pedal, you would just need to measure sort of like 2 inches bigger all the way around. But they're pretty much standard sizes. So unless you've got like an industrial machine that's got a massive pedal, this should fit all sizes. Okay. So you will need. You will need 2 rectangles of fabric, which is 6.5 by 9. You're going to need 2 pieces of the non-stick mesh. Okay, we have got some on our website. So you need 2 pieces of that, exactly the same size, so 6.5 by 9.5. You need a piece of wadding, 6.5 by 9.5. Okay. You're going to need to make the little pillow bit just to give you a buffer to stop it if it did move sliding off the end. A piece of fabric that is 12 by 5, okay, and then you want some 2.5 inch binding strips. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is really nice and easy. We're just going to layer all this up. Okay, so why is my wadding so much bigger? Hang on. That's right. Ah, I'm trimming wadding. That would be why. It's like, why is that wadding so much bigger? So it needs to be 9.5. Let me just grab my rotary cutter and cut that down. Okay. So again, this is brilliant for using up scraps. I think you can probably get it out of a fat quarter. Okay. We're going to make a little sandwich. So I'm going to use a little touch of basting spray. Just a tiny squirt just to hold this together. So we're going to put a piece of fabric down on my wadding like that and flip it over. These are ridiculously simple, ladies, really simple to do. Okay, and then a piece of fabric on this one. There we go, like that. So I've made a little quilt sandwich with my sheeps. Okay, little sheeples like that. You're then going to put a piece of the non-stick mesh. Okay, now there is a right and a wrong side to this, so you'll be able to feel it. So it's kind of flat one side and ridged the other. Okay, the ridged side you want facing upwards. You want the flatter side. I don't think you're going to be able to see it on screen, but it's kind of flat that side and then ridged, and you can really feel the difference that side. Okay, you want the ridges up. So we're going to lie that one on like that. Grab some pins. And just put one just in the top for now, just to hold it together while I flip it over. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it over, keeping it all together. And then we're going to, again, put the flat side down and the ridged side up. And then I can pin it well. Okay, so I'm just going to put a couple of pins in And you've just made yourself a little sandwich that is, actually that bottom one's, let me just move that one down a bit. It's moved and I don't want it to move. So you've made a little sandwich of mesh, fabric wadding, fabric mesh. Okay, so that's how it should go. So let's just get all that lined up. Put a pin in the top. Come on. I've really got to get myself some pins. I might treat myself to some of the magic pins actually. They're a little bit expensive, but I do like them. I don't know if we've got any left actually in the shop. Let's have a little look. Okay, so I'm going to put some pins. All my pins have gone really blunt recently. Overuse. There we go. One in there, and then let's just put a couple in the corners just to hold it all down. Let's find one over here and put one in there. Okay, so first step, nice and easy. All right, so I've got a mesh fabric wadding sandwich, like a BLT. It's a triple decker. Okay, like that. So pop that aside for a moment. Then we want to make some binding. Now we're going to do a binding just like you would bind a quilt, okay? But I thought I'd go through the steps because obviously we've got some new people and stuff all the time, and some of you might not have done this, okay? Because it's a small project, I don't want there to be much bulk. So I'm going to do a diagonal join. Now I'm going to try and do this towards you ladies. So I've got my first strip laid down. This is facing you guys. And this one is going to go like this. So right sides together at a right angle. Like that. Okay. And we're going to pop a pin in just to hold those down. And this is how I do a diagonal join. Put a pin in. Come on. Okay. I'm going to grab a pen. Where's my Frickson pens gone? Can't find any of them. They've all done a vanishing act. And we're going to draw a line. So from, again, this is facing you, so it would be from top right to bottom left. Like that, okay? We're going to stitch on that line. Now you can absolutely, in bigger projects, just do a straight join, okay? Just put them straight, and you can do that. But if you want less bulk in the binding, particularly on a really small project like this, a diagonal one will give you less bulk, okay? So I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine. Oh, you plugged my iron in for me.
Yeah.
Thanks, love. I wondered what you were doing a minute ago while I was chattering. So, I'm just going to stitch down that line, okay? And this is the same way as you'd make binding if you were binding a quilt or anything, you know? This is a double fold binding. So I've just stitched down that diagonal line. Okay, like that. You're right, Al. His arm's going to fall off, aren't they? Because you've got to hold it really steady now. I'm going to chop off that excess. Don't worry about coming in too close, love, unless I say you need to be really close with this, because that's hard for you to keep it nice and steady because the gimbal's playing up. Okay, so, and then I'm just going to iron that out. All right, so I'm going to iron that out like that. Okay, so I've joined it with a diagonal join. Now I'm just going to check. That'll probably be enough. I might need one more piece. Let's just have a check. 1, 2, 3. That's more than enough. We don't need any more than that. You're then going to fold it in half. Okay, so you've got wrong sides together, and iron it all the way along the length. Okay, so we're making just a little double fold binding. So while I'm just doing this bit of ironing, ladies, talk to me. Who's there? Anybody having a chatter away?
Sandra said, such good camera work, I could feel the ridges with you.
Well done, Al. I didn't know whether you could see it or not.
Not much has actually come in from there. That was like a good 3 minutes ago.
Oh.
I think everyone's concentrating.
Are you all just concentrating today, ladies? Fair enough. There we go. So we're going to go all the way along. Now, obviously, if you were binding a quilt, you would just keep adding strips and adding strips and adding strips until it's long enough to go all the way round. But that's how you make a simple double fold binding. Okay. We are then going to add this on to here to bind all these edges. So we're going to start, let me move this out of the way. going to start on the one of the sides, the middle of the sides. You're going to leave yourself about a 3-4 inch tail, okay? I do tend to put a pin in as I start, but I don't pin the rest or clip the rest of my binding. I find it much easier to be able to manipulate it and line it up as I go. A lot of people will pin it all the way around, but I always find that if this moves, because you know it can pucker and stuff, if it's all pinned, I end up with more puckers. If I leave it and sort of do it as I go, it's much easier. Okay, so next little trick is I can't just sew this because I've got non-stick slippy stuff underneath there. So when that hits the feed dogs and the plate, it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to sit like that, and the needle's going to go up and down in one place. So we're going to use a sheet of copy paper. You can use copy paper. You could use a bit of old envelope. You could use tissue paper. Anything at all, really. Anything that will perforate, and you'll be able to tear it off afterwards. And this means that it will just be able to slide through under the machine as well. Don't do this if you've got a brand new needle in, because the paper will ruin the needle. So maybe put an old needle back in just for this point, because punching through that paper is gonna knacker your needle. Now I did it last night. I've got an old needle in, so I'm fine. The other thing I would say is I would take your stitch length down a little bit, okay, and I would take it down to about 1.82, okay. Normally with binding we would go up a little bit, but because with the paper and you want that perforation, I find it easier to go down, okay. Now I'm going to start here and leave a bit of a tail, okay. I'm going to sew edge of foot. Now they say 1/4 of an inch away, but that gives you a really big piece on the back. So with little projects I like to do edge of foot, which is about 3/8 of an inch. It gives me just a little bit more on the front and a little bit more on the back to play with, a little bit less on the back to play with. So I'm going to go down this side like that, and we're going to do a mitered corner, which I know I've showed you before, but I'm just going to reiterate it. I've come to about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, lifted my foot with the needle down, I'm going to turn, see I need to come just one more stitch over, there we go, turn and pivot it so that the needle now is in line with the corner. So my needle is in line with that corner, and I'm going to stitch off the corner at like a 45-degree angle. Cut my thread, okay, like that. So I don't know if you can see this because it's white thread, but I've sewn along here, I've stopped, and I've sewn off the corner, okay. Now if you want to stay there just a second, Al, now we're gonna do the mitered fold, okay. So I'm going to pull this away like this. Can you see? So I've got that 45-degree angle there, and the fabric has got something to fold against because of that little seam, okay. So I'm going to fold like that, so I've got that 45, and then I'm going to flip it back like that, okay. So fold it off on itself, and you end up with this little flappy piece here. I'm now going to start stitching here, and I'm going to go down that side, all right. Now it does feel odd because you're stitching on the paper, but even with it, because I tried the Teflon foot as well, that didn't work because I had non-slip both sides, just didn't work. So I'm going to take a couple of little stitches and then back stitch to secure that corner, and then down we come to this other side. It's quite noisy because it's punching through so many bits and you're punching through paper. So come to that corner, one more off the edge like that, and we're going to do that fold again. So I'm going to work all the way around, and then I'll show you how to join it there. So anybody having a chat there? Anybody there today?
Got Jenny says, I never pin my binding.
No, I don't. I just find it so much easier. I can manipulate it more and get it much flatter if I don't pin it. Can you hear it punching through? That's because it's punching through a lot of layers. And I've got an old needle in there now because I'm punching through paper. Normally that noise, that bump 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 noise, means it's time to change your needle. So, anybody else having a chat?
Jean said, going to cut out ready for Saturday.
Ah, lovely. Yes, Jean, you're on the folded star cushion with me, aren't you? The Zoom class. We've got a full class, actually. We've got 8 ladies doing it, which will be lovely, actually. Be really nice to see everybody. So I always love seeing different people's fabrics as well, because the folded star, I mean, it's the same sort of thing. You know, I think we worked out we'd done 13 or is it 16 classes, a full, you know, class of 6 originally, you know, back last year, before obviously all COVID and everything. So that's a lot of ladies, and not one star looked the same because of their colour choices. So yeah, it looks lovely. In fact, ladies, if any of those of you have done it and you're on the Gigglers page and you've got a picture of your, let me move that pin out of the way because it's going to get caught. You've got pictures of your folded stars, please do put them on the Gigglers page, so the ladies that are doing it on Saturday will be able to see all the different colour combinations. There we go, and then we're down to the last corner, all the way around, and then fold back and back on itself. And I'm now back almost where I started, so I'm going to come just round that corner. Okay, 2 seconds. I'm just going to come around that corner, and then I'm going to move over to the, giving Alex a bit of fair warning, I'm going to move over to the mat so that I can show you how to join. And I'm sorry, I know I'm probably teaching you guys to suck eggs here. You've probably all done a lot of binding, but I thought it's always worth a little reminder for those people who might not have bound anything yet. Okay, this might be their first project. So I've stopped just a couple of inches before I started. All right. Now I'm going to grab my scissors, just chop this one down just a weeny bit. I'm going to turn this one under. So if I'd have done a straight fold, you would have just, I'd turn this just under, that raw edge under, like that, and finger press it, okay? But I did a diagonal fold, a diagonal join, so I want to, the bit that's touching the mat, I want to fold that piece under as well, so that I've got that little faked diagonal join. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. So I've folded it under the piece that's nearest the mat. I've folded that at a diagonal line like that, okay? And then I'm going to bring this is the end bit, and this is going to come down inside there. So I'm going to chop off that excess, because it's only got to come just over. And I'm going to make sure that it sits just inside that binding, like that. Oh, hang on, sorry. I need to cut just a little bit more. Cut it just a little bit too long. So, stay. Didn't want to stay. There we go. So tuck that in like that, and then this one's going to come down inside like that, and nest it all up nice and neatly like that. Okay. Now I'm going to start stitching here where I finished and come all the way along to where I started. All right. I'm going to go back over to the sewing machine and do that. Now you don't have to do that join. There's lots and lots of different joins out there. Okay, lots and lots of different ones. That's just one way of doing it. That's just the way I think I learned 15 odd years ago, and it's the way I've stuck to. Okay, so we've now sewn all the way around. Got to get rid of the paper on the back because you obviously don't want that on. So we're going to just, I hate, this is also the reason I do foundation piecing on Stitch and Tear, because I hate doing this. It's one of my real bugbears, but it is the best way of making it work, the non-slip bit. So we're just going to tear it away, because you can see it's kind of been perforated. So try not to pull too hard, because you'll pull your stitches. So it goes all the way along down this one. Any comments there while I'm pulling all this off? Anybody?
Anne says, I'm glad you're showing binding again, thank you.
That's alright.
She says, I haven't done much binding, so this is good.
Good, 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 I'm glad. So, and then, come on, let's get that big bit out of the middle. I mean, it's not difficult to do. It's just one of my, you know, silly little bugbears. I just don't enjoy doing this. But it works. It works to get that non-slip through. There we go. So you've just got to then go back in and just, you have to pick at it a little bit. I think this is the bit that I don't mind. I don't mind the big pulley out bits when it comes out cleanly. I always, when you're doing foundation piecing and it's the little tiny bits, that's the bits that drive me potty. There we go. Okay, so that's all the paper out. I can take all the paper out and flapping it at Alex. Move those out of the way. Take those pins out. And then we're going to turn this over to the back. Okay, like this. Turn that binding all the way over to the back. Okay. Now, you don't really want to put an iron on this as much as possible because this is plastic. The non-slip stuff is plastic and it's going to melt. You put an iron on that, it's going to just, you know, go like that and disintegrate into a horrible little mess. Got another pin there. There we go. So what I would suggest is not iron it at this point. You can, if you're really, really careful, I mean really careful, just gently put the iron down, making sure you don't touch that plastic matting. But actually, when it's a little small project like this, so ooh, see, that was close. That was really close. Nearly there. Okay, just, you know, just be careful. You don't want to put an iron on this. We're now going to stitch this down. Okay, so we're going to take it back to the machine and we're going to put, now you, normally I would hand stitch my binding to the back. I like that finish. That's just my personal preference. But on something like this, nah. I also would be very difficult to hand stitch onto here. So I'm going to do it on the machine. So again, I'm going to sew all the way round. When I get to the corners, you kind of want to push this one out as far as it will go, like that, okay? And then when this one folds over, like that, it's difficult to do with I haven't got enough fingers. That becomes your mitre on that side, okay? So, over we go. And I'm going to just stitch all the way around and then I'm going to show you how to make the little pillow. So, talk to me, ladies. How are you doing? Now, I don't really want to put paper on again. So just go slow and steady. You have got a little bit of fabric to catch on this bit, okay? So you kind of got to, you might have to guide it a weeny bit because you have still got that non-slip on the back. Okay, so can you hear how punchy it is? That's from the paper. That's from the paper. So I'm going to go all the way along. So while I'm going round, anybody there, Al? Anybody chattering away?
Marie says, I know it's a cheap, but I buy my binding. I've never made my own.
All right, you buy your own bias binding. Fair enough. Fair enough, lovely. Lots of people do. It's very easy to make your own binding though, and I think you can coordinate it nicely with your fabric. You know, so it's worth having a go. It's very easy. It's a lot cheaper as well. If you've got scraps left over from the project, cut yourself 2.5-inch strips from that. I make scrappy binding. I love a scrappy binding. So, come on, over we go.
Right. Grace said, have you got the non-slip net on the website?
We have.
And how much is it?
I can't remember how much it is off the top of my head. It's in a random place. It's in the pattern section because we bought it in originally for the Juliet slippers. So it's right next to the Juliet slipper pattern. So it's in the pattern section. There, okay. I think it's like £2.50, £3 for half a metre. It's not very expensive. There we go. All the way down this one. Sorry, this is a bit dull, isn't it? Anybody else there?
Carolyn said, like this, binding reminder is great.
Cool. Cool, yeah, sometimes it's just nice to have a reminder like the basic things. You know, if you haven't done it for a little while, it can be a bit like, oh, where do I start? You know, this isn't the neatest, to be honest. It's not the neatest, but frankly, it's a sewing machine. It's going on the floor under my sewing table. And then if anybody's under there looking, they can, you know, get out from under there. What are you doing under there? Come on. See, it doesn't want to go because it's just catching on that You could put another piece of paper on if you wanted to. Oh, there we go. Got it. Just didn't want to go. It's just catching just a weeny bit. Yeah, man, nearly there. Nearly round the corner, and we've got one little bit left to do, and then we're going to make that little pillow. Now, you don't have to make the little pillow bit. I just thought it was handy to have that buffer. I mean, it really will stick to this stuff. It really won't move. So you could just make a little mat. You could stop at this point, and you don't have to go any further. You don't have to make the little pillow, but it was just another detail, and I thought, well, actually, sometimes it might be, it'll just stop my pedal scooting off the end. Okay, nearly there. Just gonna give it a little hand just to get it over that bit. I think sometimes as well, it's nice to try a project with a different material, like using the non-slip, or, you know, like when you use the vinyl for the project wallets and stuff. You know, we can sometimes be a bit scared of using different types of materials, and actually there's always a way around using them. Okay, there we go. So apart from the ends, which I'll sew in later, there's my little mat. Okay, and you could absolutely, so it's bound, that's the front, and you can see that's the back. Oh, it's gone it's a little bit messy there, but like I said, that's going to be on the floor like that, and if anybody's under the table, they can get out from under there. Okay, you can see that that is now not going to move at all, okay, because that just grips. So if you want to make the little pillowy bit, all right, you want to cut yourself a piece that's 12 by 5, okay, and we're going to fold it in half like that and just stitch all the way down the length. So I'm going to very quickly do that. And let's just move my needle back to where it's supposed to be. There we go. All the way down. And like I said, pattern for this, if you want written instructions, will be on the website this afternoon. Any comments there, Al? Anybody? Good chat?
Nothing new's come in.
You're all quite quiet today. There we go. So, just stitched all the way down the length, and I'm going to turn it through. Just all the way through like that. I even thought about the direction that I was cutting my fabric so my sheep weren't on the side. I've actually got a little row of sheep. Okay, come on. Oh, it doesn't want to come through. Where's that last little bit? There it is. There it is. So, give that a quick little press. Like that. You're right, Al. Are your arms going to sleep yet?
Not really.
You're right. Okay. The other little thing you want to do is just then turn in these raw edges. Okay, so I'm just going to turn them in, and they're all going to be stitched down in a minute, so you won't see them. Just going to turn them in once, and again, press that. So you've got a nice clean edge on that edge, and the same on this one. So just turn that one in. Come on, like that. I've turned it in about ½ an inch. Come on, there we go. Turn that one in, like that. Okay. Next thing you want to do is you want to just measure up about 3 inches from this end, from the left-hand side. So I'm going to measure up 3 inches, like that. Mark a line, and I'm going to stitch down that line. Okay. And stitch down that line. So just make sure you back stitch just to secure it. Down the line. Oh, that so definitely needs a new needle now. You can hear it. I can feel it as well. I can really feel it like really punching through. Okay. Get rid of that friction line, and then we're going to stuff this. Okay, so I've got old pillows that I buy from IKEA or Dunelm or, you know, Shaw's or something, and open them up and use that because it's so much cheaper than buying toy stuffing. And we're just going to stuff this tube. Now we're going to stuff all the way down. We're going to just stuff it long enough from about till about 3 inches from the other end. Okay, I'll chuck all that in. So while I'm stuffing, anybody there? Anybody chattering away? Anybody saying anything else?
Maria said, I wish I'd done that with my face masks, as I have lopsided little ponies.
Oh, bless. Yeah, no, I was about to cut it and I was like, oh, the sheep are going to be the wrong way round. Yeah, directional fabrics can really throw you sometimes, can't they? They'll throw me, that's for sure. They really got to think about it. It's one of those angles that I've really got to think about, like, which is the right way. Anybody else?
Suzanne said the little pillow would stop the mat from sliding under the tea sewing cabinet.
Yes, yeah, if you've got a back to your sewing cabinet, it would just stop it going all the way through. So yeah, there you go, multi-purpose, multifunctional. So let me just put another little bit in there. Don't need much stuff in, it's just enough to, and then I'm going to line it up on here and just see if that's going to be stuffed enough. Maybe just put a tiny little bit more in. Okay, so a tiny little bit more in, like that. Shove that in there. And then I can have a little look and go, yeah, let's see, that's now going to sit nicely on the top of that mat. We're now going to stitch down, straight line down there to sort of enclose that little mat, that little bit of stuffing. So let's tuck that back in. You can draw a line if you want. I'm going to eyeball it, to be honest, like that. There we go. Ooh, I'll just lift the foot, went back too far. And I'm going to move my needle over as far left as I can to get that nice and close to the stuffing. So a couple little stitches and back stitch, and then down we go. Anybody else there?
Nothing else has come through.
There we go. Okay, so that is all sewn down. And then what you would do is, we're going to pop that right up at the top of the mat. So if I turn this towards you, right up at the top of the mat like that, and push this round to the back, okay? I'm just going to pin it into place. You would then just hand stitch this to the mat, this folded over edge here, just hand stitch that to the mat. You can't get it under the machine, I'm afraid, so you've got to just do a little bit of a hand stitch. Okay, so I'd bring this one over this way, like that. I'm not going to do the hand stitching now, obviously. I will, there we go, like that, all right? And that would be your little mat all finished with its little pillow, okay? So, that's it. That's your little, like you say, I've stuffed that one slightly more than that one, but it doesn't really matter. But that is going to keep your foot from going for a wander, okay? So, I don't need to. I'm going to give one away. I'm going to give one away. Which one do you want? This is a William Morris and this is a sheep. Whoever wins it can choose which one they want. I'll finish the hand stitching on that one, okay? Going to give one away. So I'll do a little mini challenge post and I'll chuck a little bit of fabric or something in it. We'll do a little quick challenge post because we haven't done one this week. I will clean that up. I'll tidy all those ends up for you. What should we do the challenge on? What should we do the challenge on, Al? We've done animals before. I was thinking animals, but we've done animals before. We've done florals recently. We've done scrappy. Oh, what have we done?
You wanted people to show off their stars earlier. Do something.
What, lovely?
The stars they made.
Yeah, but that's not fair because not everybody's not made one. Oh, but we could do stars of any sort, couldn't we?
Stars in general.
There you go. There you go. Show me. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. So show me your stars. Whether that's a fabric that you've used that's got stars on it, whether you've crocheted stars, whether you've made it a folded star cushion. Did you do Nell's star in the isolation block? Show me your stars. Okay, that's a good idea, Al. Yeah. Yeah, show me your stars. I'll put a challenge post up when I get back to the shop, and then the winner can have one of these, whichever one they want, and I'll chuck a little bit of fabric in, or wool, depending if it's a crochet or a wool winner. A crochet or wool, crochet or a fabric winner, sewing winner. Okay, so I'll do that, and I'll run that through till Monday or Tuesday. In fact, I'll run it through till Tuesday because there's no 1 o'clock on Monday. So we'll do it over the weekend. So show me your stars. I think that's a good plan. Hope you all have a lovely, lovely weekend. Any other questions or comments there, Al, before we go?
A couple of people say they like the sheep.
Yeah, I like the sheep. He's a really funny little sheep. I like him. And he's a black sheep as well. He's a rebel. I like a rebel. Nothing else?
There's a thanks, definitely need one of those from Grace.
Ah, lovely. Fabulous. Like I said, the non-slip stuff is on the website. You've got till I get back over to do the 10 fat quarters for £20 if you haven't done already. We won't be around on Monday because Sarah's on holiday and I've got a hospital appointment. So we will be back Tuesday at 1 o'clock, but we'll put lots of stuff on for you over the weekend. We'll put lots of bits and pieces. Mitered block of the day, check out the group. If you're in that group, check it out. I will make sure that you've got the block by the end of the day. You may already have had it through to your email from Moda directly if you signed up for it, because you can sign up for it. But the email that you guys had first thing this morning isn't the right email, okay? That's the blockheads one. So, but I'll put a post in that group for you guys, all right? So we're not mixing it all up with everybody else. I think that's it. Oh, don't forget the red work. If you want one, £59 saving, 150 quid. Oh, I sound like I should be on Hitchanda, don't I? There's only 4 left, ladies. Saving £59. Is that my hard sell? But yeah, there's 4. So that's on there as well, ladies, if you fancy having a go at one of those. And I'll see you Tuesday. Have a lush weekend, ladies and gents, if you're out there. Hopefully the weather will stay nice. Stay safe. Let's go back to stay safe, stay home, isn't it? See you soon. Bye.